Try this simple test. Ask your own kids when you get home tonight. And while you're at it, Pop, ask them about John Barrymore, The Little Flower, Wendell Willkie, Toots and Casper, Melrose, and NRA. Ask them about Lamont Cranston.
Never heard of it.
Surprised? Don't be. There's been one of those floods the earth comes up with every 20 years or so. The old landmarks have tumbled, and except for the odd footprint, the sand is clear. Look for me, says Georgie. I'm still here. Well, that's what we're going to do tonight, Georgie. Look for you. Because this is George Cohan's story, we tell it where he lived it. On a stage. Like this one. Not much, is it? Or everything. Depends on how you look at it. End of prologue. We're ready. We hope you're ready. George was never anything but. Beginning with his first stage in Providence, Rhode Island, July 4th, 1878. Well, truth is, he was born the day before. But it pleased Georgie to give July 4th as his birthday, so Independence Day it is. Heightened reality, they call it. Truth dressed up for the stage, but that's where he lived it, how he lived it, and how we tell it. July 4th, 1878. George Michael Cohan is born. and Josie, and for the grand finale, little Georgie himself. Hi, hello, Yep. Love to chat with you right now, but we're busy running over some sensational new material I just wrote for the act to use when we play in New York.
Some other time, man.
No, watch if you insist. As a matter of fact, it might do you some good. The public's getting sick of the same junk you've been feeding them for 20 years. Well, you need something new, Mr. Albee, and that something new happens to be spelled C-O-H-A-N. Go on, Mom. Pop, you're on. That good old musical mood. And they sing about it every tune. Catchy, huh? Never wearing out, playing on. Here we go. Playing, money, moon, happy, moon, eating, got this. Musical mood. That rhymes with tune and food and crew. But the leading lady gets to know. Folks will tell you that there ain't no show till they bring the musical mood. Great. And now I want you to meet the pride and joy of the family, the most talented little miss in vaudeville, Miss Josie Cohan. Makes you want to move, doesn't it? Well, move if you feel like it. Well, he's moving on the inside.
It seems to me to be a wonderful world since I met you.
Josie, that's beautiful. And now, kid, I want you to get a load of a song, a step, and a personality that I guarantee will take New York by storm a week after we open. Little Georgie himself. Goodbye, my lady love. So long, my turtle dove. Farewell, my honeysuckle. I gotta go. While I am on the way, I'll phone you every day. I'll tell you how I am if you wanna know. Don't be leery. Yes, my dearie. Dearie, don't cry. Honey, do you know I've gotta go? All aboard for Broadway. That's the Yankee land. Just got time to say goodbye, that's all. So long, can't you hear the train calling? All aboard for Broadway. I'll be back again. Hurry, you know, let's make this just think of all the fun I'll miss if I miss the Broadway. changes. The act's great, you know it. And just because that big producer. You have to forgive the boy, Mr. Albee. He's just so excited about your being here. Why, just this afternoon, he said to me, "Gosh, Dad, do you suppose Mr. E.F. Albee, with all his renowned experience and good taste, would be willing to help us with the act? Didn't you, son?" I never said that. Now go on, Mr. Albee, we're all ears.
Well, it ain't a bad little act, I guess. Maybe I could use more of it.
What did I tell you?
Get up and in 2 weeks.
There.
I get it. He was only kidding before. You're a great kidder, E.F. Now, what we want is $7.50 per week. We also
In
want...
Poughkeepsie at $150 per 2 weeks guaranteed. And then if you ship up, Troy.
Wonderful, Mr. Albee. We accept. Now, when do we start?
Start? Nobody starts in Poughkeepsie, Pop. That's where you finish. So if you want my advice, Mr.
Son,
Albee...
I think you've said just about enough.
Well, I haven't said nearly enough, Mr. Albee. You're going to want this act someday, and I promise you the four Cohens will never play in any theater here as long as we're in this business. And there's no use pleading. I won't change my mind. Imagine us in Poughkeepsie.
Well, it's a lot closer to New York than we are
Well,
now.
closer isn't enough, Pop. We've been trying to get to New York for 12 years, and I want to get there.
So do I, and your mother. But just because we want something doesn't mean we can have it.
Why not? Well, if someone's good enough, and I'm good enough, then why not? Pop, I can't lie. You didn't teach me how. I'm Georgie, and I think I'm great. And if that makes me a fresh punk, okay, I'm a punk. But I'm going up there, Pop, and no Albee or anyone else is going to stop me.
Hey, Tiger.
Not now, Archie. I'm busy.
So are the boys, Georgie. They want their money. Rehearsal for the 6 hours.
Archie, you'll get your money. I always pay my debts.
Dad, can you let me borrow $20? I haven't got that much, George. Nellie?
Just the money for the week's rent. I'll get it, Archie.
Look, Miss Cohan, I'm sorry to do this to you, but rehearsal will be 6 hours before the boys.
Georgie, what am I going to do with you? I know you want to get someplace, be somebody, but you're using up so many people along the way.
Pop, people aren't what I'm thinking about right now. Just let me get where I'm going, and I promise you, we'll have more people around than we know what to do with.
I hope so, Georgie. I hope so.
Well, Josie, you understand, don't you? It's like I'm running. There's a long train going by me, and I'm running after it. It's night, and I can see the people laughing inside. And the light shines on the brass railings outside of the doors. And I know if I could once, just once, touch those railings, I'll get on. And for some crazy reason, you'll be there, and Mom, and Pop. All of us together, Josie, always.
You'll get on, George. I know you will, but trains start and stop. And that's why we all need people to be there when it's time to get off. Because nothing's always George.
Well, I am. And you want to know why? Because I'm playing it their way from now on. If humble's what they want, humble they're going to get. 14 karat solid brass Rhode Island Irish humble, and don't look for better because there ain't none. Mom, Dad, it's the new me. The old loudmouth Georgie is no more, so feast your eyes on the new one. Thoughtful, modest, quiet, unassuming, and most of all, considerate of all people. Unless, of course, we happen to run into fatheads like Albee. But did you see the way he sat there, Mom? Not a smile in it. But don't worry, Pop. We'll play New York, and why shouldn't we? We've got everything. Brains, talent, heart, the greatest act in the business. And me, little Georgie himself.
I like the new Georgie.
Yeah, the best thing about him is you don't miss the old one.
Mom, Pop, you're not going to let this get you down, are you? Okay, so Albee didn't hire us. And we owe Madame Grimaldi $20 for the rent. A couple of bad breaks like that aren't going to slow us down. Well, hey, Pop, you know what I want? I want for us to walk out of this theater as if we own the world. Did I say walk? No, I mean march. No, stride. Shoulders back, head high, chin up, follow me. There he goes on his dancing toes with that American strut. Hey, Mom, that's it. You're doing it. Hey, Cedar Rapids. Sorry to rush off, but we've got places to go. Big time places. That's right, Pop. That's Broadway beckoning right over there. And right over there is the poorhouse. And if I hurry, I can get a corner room.
Come on, Jerry, we're late. And you know how Max and I feel about dumping stuff on time.
Why would that trouble explaining about the rent?
Drop those spoons! You all know what day it is. It's Friday, rent day. No first, dinner after. Let us pray. And for what we are about to receive, dear Lord, as symbols of your everlasting bounty and goodness, we, your devoted and humble servants, toiling together in the fields of Christian endeavor, do most humbly thank thee. Especially those who are paid up. Amen. It's your turn to help serve, I believe, Mrs. Reddear. Now, who didn't get a napkin? That's right. Mrs. Reddear, you can serve the roast.
Roast leg of what?
It's awfully small.
Where's the cat?
Upstairs lying down. She had a little migraine. Now, who didn't get butter? That's right. Mrs. Reddear, you can serve the alphabet soup.
P-A-Y?
UP? It's my own idea. It's so much more personal than a summons.
Well, Madam Grimaldi, that certainly was delicious.
Delicious. What did you get that was delicious?
No, sir, we won't get food like that in New York.
New where? What did you say?
New York. I thought you knew. We're going there with the act.
Come now, Mr. Cohan. You can't expect us to swallow that. We all know Mr. Albee turned you down flat this afternoon.
All arranged. We had to get Albee to turn us down because we'd already signed with Hyde and Beeman this morning. That's right. We open in the Adam Street Theater next Thursday night with a new musical sketch called The 20th Century Kid, written, conceived, and executed by George M. Cohan.
Mr. and Mrs. Cohan. Jerry. Nellie. Have some prime rib. Mrs. Grimaldi. You don't open your mouth. What happens to cats can happen to canines. Shut up! Out! All of you out! Coffee in the parlor. You know I don't allow business to be discussed at the table.
didn't I? Well, anyhow, it's all true. Or it's going to be. I'm gonna go upstairs tonight and write that new sketch. Oh, and Pa, don't worry about Hyde and Beeman. I'm going to make them an offer they can't refuse. The 4 Cohens for $0. That's right. Free. Not 1 red cent. The first week, then if we go over, we talk terms. One little question, Georgie. Shoot. What if the new act flops?
But Pa, how can it flop? It's conceived, written, staged,
And executed by George M. Cohan. I'll take the girl.
Smith. I'll accept you as a potential suitor, but I must warn you that I'm the sort of girl who likes a boy to meet me properly first, then go walking, then dancing, then hold my hand, then my waist, kiss me, propose, march down the aisle, put a ring on my finger, give me a dozen American Beauty roses, and carry me across the threshold.
Well, I'll do all that. Only put a little 20th century pace in it. Ready? Go. Meet. Walk. Waist. Hand. Dance. Kiss. Propose. Rose. Aisle. Ring. Threshold. For the modern days, the whole world's racing. Speed is all the rage, all the rage, all the rage. Let's bring us racing. On the center side, he's the one who's begun accelerating. Now with Mr. Bells and your voices, well, why keep waiting? Meet, walk, waist, hand, dance, kiss, propose, rose, aisle, ring, threshold. No time to take through now. It's 1902 now. I love the white telegram is fast and clear. Whenever we're parted, we're not broken hearted. As long as our telephone is near. It's love at first sight now. My answer's light now. No waiting for stars on me. Walk, face, hand, dance, kiss, propose, rose, aisle, ring, threshold. We're even not done. So hurry to begin. It's 1903, kid. And be my 20th century love. My mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, my wife thanks you, and for the last time on the Hyde Beeman vaudeville circuit, I thank you too.
What are you doing?
Moving, kid, up as far as it goes and never coming down.
But George, I like vaudeville. It's what I know best. And look how far the acts come. Why must we move anywhere?
Because if you're not moving, Ethel, you're slowing down, and that's not for Georgie. Beeman!
Wait, George.
Beeman!
Yeah, kid.
Just wanted to say so long, Mr. Beeman. Moving up.
What's up? You got 52 weeks a year guaranteed with me.
52 weeks a year, but only 15 minutes a night, and that's just not enough. I want the full time, Mr. Beeman, 8:30 to 11.
George, I'll level with you. 8:30 to 11 is musical comedy, meaning Broadway. And ain't sure you're ready for that yet, kid. When you fall on that street, the whole country hears the crash. You won't even get a vaudeville booking for 10 years.
Well, who says I'm gonna fall?
Bigger boys than you have, George. Look, why don't you take your time, get a little more experience, play another year or two of vaudeville before you risk it. I'm saying this for your own good, kid.
So long, Mr. Beeman.
Okay, kid, but make that goodbye. I don't keep no lights running in the window.
Goodbye, Mr. Beeman.
Hey, kid.
Yeah, Beeman.
One last thought. You got a way with people. Rubs them the wrong way, kind of. You may not mean no harm, kid, but some people ain't gonna like you. Like me.
Well, I'll do without you, Mr. Beeman, and the rest of him if I have
He didn't
to.
mean that the way it sounded, George. He
What do I care how he meant it? He's just one guy. Ethel, he's right. I'm a big mouth, but I've got something inside of me. Something this whole country needs. And I'm going to give it free, Ethel. No strings attached. Like me, kid, they're gonna love me. And if I lose one or two so-called pals along the way, I can afford it.
And if it's more than just one or two, George,
Well, if I can have all that, let it be more. Well, there's a city full of people out there, Ethel. Someone's gonna take it. Why not me?
Georgie.
Why not me? My town, that's Manhattan. Up, down, stone and satin. Noise, boys, all of its clamor can make me proud. Times Square, how I love it. Fresh air, I die of it.
mean that Broadway's still moving too slow. What I need to do is give this town time to catch up with me. 3 weeks. Sure. I'll write a month. And in exactly that time, I open my new musical comedy, Little Johnny Jones. Well, it'll star the 5 of us, Pop, but this time I'm only sticking to what I do best.
Yeah, acting, directing, writing, sets, costumes, music. Have you got it figured out yet how you can show the customers to their seats?
I'm working on it, Pop. I'm working on it. Well, Pop, it's a great story. I play this American jockey in England who's accused of throwing the big race. But in the end, you find out I didn't do it. Ethel,
Sorry, George. Just thinking of what we talked about last week.
beaming again?
Well, I spoke with him yesterday, and he said if he wanted to take us back with more money and better buildings, we could do the old act and have more time for each
Ethel,
other.
you don't seem to understand. I said I was through with vaudeville, and I meant it. Okay, kid, they got me down, but I'll bounce back, and we will go away for a holiday, long as you want. Right after the new show opens. Scared you, didn't I? Almost made it. Word of warning next time around. Save me a seat. Green trees, I don't need 'em. Birds, bees, you can feed 'em. Skies may be gray now and then on Broadway, and beside every smile there's a frown. Still it's my hometown. No, Pop, I'm not. I want this so much. And I'm scared.
Thank God, Georgie. Thank God. I can quit worrying about you now.
Pop, wait. One more thing. You've been in this business 35 years. Well, how do you know?
Know what, Georgie?
If it's good. It's not the applause. They're your friends out there. They'll cheer no matter what. Well, how do you know if it's really good?
It's hard to explain, but there's something that happens. Suddenly the whole stage is brighter. You know those lights are the same as you set them in rehearsal, but suddenly they seem brighter and stronger, and the orchestra's playing louder and faster. And Georgie, that whole stage just shines. Don't worry, you'll know it if it happens. Let's go, son, we're on.
Now remember, Mr. Jones, watch the skyrocket. If it goes off, it'll mean I've lost some papers from Anthony's down in the rearview mirror. So remember, Mr. Jones, stick here on the pier and watch the skyrocket.
Thanks. I'll be watching.
Don't worry, Mr. Jones. We still believe in you.
Well, that means a lot, kid.
Any messages back home, Johnny? Any messages back home?
Yeah. One. Say hello to dear old Coney Island. There's a chance to be. When you're at the Waldorf, have a smile and charge it up to me. Mention my name every place you go, as round the town you roam. Wish you'd call on my gal. Now remember, old gal, when you get back home, give my regards to Broadway. Remember me to Herald Square. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there. Whisper of how I'm yearning to mingle with the old time throng. Yes, give my regards to old Broadway and say that I'll be there ere long.
You're going to see him right now, Johnny. He's watching for the skyrocket. Well, Johnny, it looks like we won't be taking this trip together after all.
Cheer up, kid. There'll be other trips to take. Lots of them. I promise you that, kid. I promise. Did you ever see two Yankees part upon a foreign shore? When the good ship's just about to start, oh, New York once more. With chin and eye, they say goodbye. They're friends without a doubt. Then the man on the pier shouts as the ship strikes out. Broadway and 43rd the other day. Kid yells out, "Hey, Frankie, there goes the man who owns Broadway." So I turned around to see who he meant. And you know what? It was me. And you know what else? He was right. Oh, Georgie's up there now. Climbed on board, picked a window seat. Now I've got my eye on a private car. And why not? Check the league I'm batting with now. The geezer with the roll of bills is none other than the mayor of this fair city, Norbert T. Hatry himself. Pilot fish swimming around him include Chief Alderman Haley. Economical fella, never buys a pair of gloves. Doesn't have to. One hand's always in someone's pocket. And that's his honor, T.J. Anspatcher, mooching the cigars. Very distinguished gentleman. Only living U.S. justice still on parole. And last, but not least, our very own Congressman W.F. Burkhart Jr., running for a 6th straight term on the prohibition ticket. Why are these people here? To give a little glitter to my latest enterprise. I'm going to be a big Broadway producer and give Ziegfeld and Froman a run for their money. I've got me Sam H. Harris for a partner, and from now on, Cohan presents Cohan.
Splendid little setup you have here, Mr. Cohan. Now what I want to know is when can we expect the first Cohan and Harris production?
Give us a break, Your Honor. We just got together. And as a matter of fact, I thought we might just sit this season out.
And just do the new Faye Templeton show, and that's all.
Always understood Miss Templeton was the biggest star on Broadway, Mr. Cohan.
And she's gonna be twice as big when we get through with her, right, Sam?
Faye Templeton.
Now, Mr. Cohan, if Miss Templeton really is going to do this
Really doing it. She's been hounding us all week for the contract. Calls, telegrams. She's even got her old lady waiting outside this minute. Hi, Miss Templeton. Haven't got the name of the show yet, but we ought to open by
Last week in December.
huh?
That's right. The last week in December with the biggest hit of Faye's career.
Sam, you're gonna be all right. Well, hey, how'd you like to hear one of the songs I'm sending over to Fazy today? Well, get a load of this. Out west I have found, that's where hayseeds abound, and Missouri's the state that designed them. And though this may be, you can take it from me, you don't have to go out west to find them. If you wanna find the real big delegation, the place where the real Rubens dwell, just hop on a train at the Grand Central Station. Get off when they shout, New Rochelle.
Only what I want to know is who he thinks he is. Me giving my mother the contract. God rest her soul. She's as good as dead. She's in Philadelphia. Rose, will you please stop playing that song? In a minute, honey.
Oh, don't say. Cohen's impulsive, but he's got talent, and you could use him in the show.
Look, Freddie, I've managed to struggle along pretty nicely until now without Mr. Cohan. So will you please call the papers and tell them that I will not be in the new Cohan show. Rose, stop playing that.
What a kidder Fazy is. Of course she's doing the show. I had lunch with her this afternoon at Delmonico's.
George, Faye, and the old lady.
I gave her a second number. See if you like it. So long, Mary. Mary, we will miss you so. So long, Mary. How we hate to see you go. And we'll all be longing for you, Mary, while you roam. So long, Mary.
Mama?
Just another couple of parts, baby. I'm just getting to the good part.
I don't want to hear the good part. new show opened, there was a new show to open. So one day, she decided to go away together, by herself. And the funny part was, she didn't know how to tell him.
Well, did she have to tell him, Ethel? All right. He's been busy these past few years, but that's over now. They could really do it this time. Go away together. Just the two of them. Right after the new show opens.
She had to tell him, George.
Well, then give it the Cohan touch. Speed, lights, music. Play the bad news against the happy scene. It'll knock 'em dead, kid. Happy New Year!
All our friends, every one of them, they're all our friends. Wonderful friends, dozens and dozens of regular throng. Simply to see just and follow along because they're all our friends. Half the fun of them, the light of the blood, the quietness. Incoming troops and fighters on. Up, down, 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 right on the song. I must confess, I guess I worship the light. Because every mother, son of them, well, every one of them, all are wonderful friends. All our friends, every one of them, they're all our friends. Wonderful friends, dozens and dozens of regular throng. Simply to see just and follow along because they're all our friends. Half a ton of them, the light of the very brightness. Incoming troops and fighting or not. Up, down, 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 right on the spot. Must confess, I guess I worship the lot. All our wonderful friends.
They're here, George. Your bus. They're just waiting your cuts.
Well, it's about time. Stall them for a minute, will you? I want to be reading these telegrams when they come in. I just want to read a few wires. Sam's arranged them in order of importance. So the first one's from Sam Harris. To the Caston Company of 45 minutes from Broadway. Backstage, New Amsterdam Theater, 211 West 42nd Street, New York, New York, the United States of America. Hey, Western Union doesn't charge for the address, do they?
Certainly not.
That explains the message. Congratulations. Oh, and here's one for Faye. Welcome at long last, after years of constant and disheartening failure, to the ranks of big Broadway stars like I, Lillian Russell.
Sweet. Don't those big fat girls have the nicest sense of humor?
Ah, here's one for me. Dear Mr. Cohan, thank you for this wonderful show and a chance to be a part of it. Agnes Nolan. Nolan.
Here she is.
Ah, Miss Wooster Mass. Thanks, kid. Thanks. Ah, and here's another one for me. And dear George, it's hard to imagine any New Year being happier for you than this one, but if it's possible, we wish it for you. Love, Josie, Mom, and Pop. You know, I've got a score to settle with those three. For years they've been telling me how we need to stick together. And now with the best show I've ever written offered to them, they refuse to be in it. Not right for the parts or some such baloney. Well, I'm not letting them get away with it. And just to make sure, I've had my lawyer draw up a little paper. I'm serious, Pop. I think you better read it.
What is it, Georgie?
Well, there's only one way to find out, and I'm warning you. It's airtight.
Airtight. I, George Michael Cohan, do on this January 1st, 1907, hereby deed to my mother and my sister Josie all title to properties held by me in Glen Cove.
George has the farm. He just bought it. And spent 2 weeks there, and that was enough. Birds all over the place. Go on, Pop.
And I also attest that from this day forward, my father, Jeremiah J. Cohan, and I are partners, one half and equal,
every theater property I possess or will possess, including all my songs and... I'm sorry, these aren't my reading glasses.
Well, there isn't much more, just with all my love and gratitude, your son and partner, George.
Georgie, son, on behalf of your mother and Josie and myself, I thank you. My wife thanks you. My daughter thanks you.
Hey, that's mine.
Was yours. Half mine now. I got it just in time.
Now,
Your way, George.
my way, Ethel. Sam! Finish reading these, will ya?
I got plans to talk over with the new boss.
Sure, George. Here's one for you, Georgie. Dear George,
I've decided to proceed as planned and don't think a meeting would accomplish anything. Papers en route to yours.
Should arrive next week. Forgive me, George. Ethel. Well, that's it, George. And if a sad scene played against a happy scene, lights fade slowly. It's traditional, dear. Music up. It makes it easier to get off. Girl opens parasol. You see, she always kept it, George. And goes. Morning glories and clover, birdies flying all over. Reckon you'll like it.
I'm sorry, George. It was in with the rest of the wires.
sorry for what? Saves me having to tell them one at a time, that's it. I'm 50 bucks ahead in phone bills already. Now, this is supposed to be a party, isn't it? Well, let's make it look like one. And get that music going. I spent 200 bucks for the band and I want to hear it. Forget it. I'll walk.
No, don't be silly. It's only 3 blocks. Hold on.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Hey, Miss Rooster Mass.
Mr. Cohan, I didn't see you.
Well, what's the big idea of leaving the party early?
I'd hardly call 2 in the morning early. It's late. We've got 2 shows tomorrow, so I thought I'd go home.
Well, which way?
3 blocks uptown.
Well, you've got company. Tell me something, Miss Rooster Mass. What's wrong with people?
People?
All of them. You love them, trust them, give them everything you got, and they walk out on you. I don't even know why I'm asking. I've known about people for years. They come and they go. They crowd you when you don't want them, and they're never there when you do.
They must have something to recommend them, Mr. Cohan. Not many of us are able to do without them.
Oh, don't give me that Tin Pan Alley malarkey. Well, it's great for second act ballads, but that's it.
Kid, when I was 5, they put me out on that stage and stuck a fiddle in my hand and I played. And there was just me and those lights on that stage. And it was enough.
And now?
Well, it's still enough. Look, lights, Broadway, they'll always be there.
You can depend on them.
And if someday you look up and they aren't?
Kid, that day's never gonna come. With what I got in me, that day's never gonna come.
Well, this is it, Mr. Cohan.
Huh?
Home, where I live. Thanks for the company, and I hope you're right about that.
Wait a minute, you can't just walk out on an argument like that. I've still got lots to say. Well, how about lunch tomorrow?
It's not a very good idea, Mr. Cohan.
think she'll let me down. But I know different. We're a team, you and me. You do your part, and I do mine. Hey, Lights, you got a country full of people looking at me out there. So don't let me down. I'm the kid that saw the candy. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. I'm glad I have some songbird sound. I'm a real life Yankee Doodle. Made my name in fame and food, just like Mr. Doodle did by riding on a pony.
did you say?
I'm getting married, George. Brandon Blues asked me to marry him, and I've accepted.
Wonderful. Great. What did you think I was going to do? Forbid it?
There's more, George. Fred's on the road a lot, and naturally Josie will want to be with him.
Wait a minute. What do you mean, be with him?
Travel with him, George. Go wherever he goes.
But what about the act? The 4 Cohans?
She's leaving it, George. I'm sorry, George.
You're sorry? You take 25 years and you throw it away and you say you're sorry? Look, I put my whole life into this act, and you have no right to walk out on it just like that.
Why not, George?
Because I said so, that's why. And if I've explained that to her or any of the rest of you, you don't belong in this business.
That's just about enough. Oh, I don't know what I'm wasting my breath for. You're nothing but a pig-headed Irishman, and you'll never be anything else.
What did you call me, Mulligan?
A pig-headed Irishman, Hannigan, and a disgrace to the fine name you live.
Well, those are fighting words, Mulligan. Fighting words. For I'm just as proud as my name, you see, as an emperor, czar, or king could be. The ladies and babies are fond of me. I'm fond of them to return, you see. H-A-R-R-I-G-A-N spells Hannigan. Mulligan. Proud of all the H-A-U-R-R-I-G-A-N, you'll see. It's a name that a shame never has been connected with. Hannigan. Mulligan. That's me. H-A-R-R-I-G-A-N, you'll see. It's a name that a shame never has been connected with. Hannigan. Mulligan. Hannigan. Mulligan. Hannigan. Mulligan. Sam. What's the matter, Sam?
It's Jerry, George.
Papa.
He's dead. Agnes called from the hospital. Nellie's with her. George, if there's anything I can do, I'm here.
Johnny, get your gun, get your gun, get your gun. Take it on the run, on the run, on the run. Hoist the flag and let her fly. Like true heroes, do or die. Pack your little kit, show your grit, do your bit. Soldiers from the ranks to the towns and the tanks. Make your mother proud of you, and to liberty be true. Over there, send
change Broadway and you'll kill it, Hank. Oh, I look around me even now and it's not the same. Well, you're talking about actors walking off the stage. When I was coming up, you couldn't drag us off. We ate, breathed, and lived this business. I remember I'd come home from the last show at night and flop into bed. You know how long I'd stay there? 10 minutes. And then I'd be up scribbling new scenes, and pretty soon Josie sneak in my room. We'd work on routines. We wouldn't get to sleep till dawn. So much of it's gone already. Josie, Pop, the four Cohans. Broadway's the only thing that's left. And if you want to change that, Hank, you change it without me.
Easy, George. You don't have to make any decisions.
Well, now's as
right
good
now.
a time as any. Radicals, Bolsheviks, that's not my Broadway, Sam. I don't want to be any part of it.
They're not radicals and Bolsheviks. You know it, George. Sam's right. Wait a bit. Stay on the side.
Agnes, I'm Georgie. What do I know about sidelines? Okay, Hank, that's it. You got a fight on your hands from me. And I promise you, if it's your Broadway that wins, it'll be a Broadway without Cohan.
George,
Kid, I don't intend to lose. I've been giving this street what it wants for a long time now, and it's not gonna like doing it without me. I'm not just on that train, I own it. I am the man who owns Broadway. That's what the daily papers say. The girls are turned away at every matinee. They go to see the players, not the play. He is the man who owns Broadway.
Hey, Alice. Alice, there goes me who's Broadway. What do you mean, who? Johnson? Hey, Al.
That's what the daily papers say.
Biggest hit on Broadway, 1922 Ziegfeld Pause, W.C. Fields, and Fanny Bryce.
The girls are turned away at every matinee. They go to see the players, not the play they say.
there he is. Oh, Mr. Tracy, I want you to know I love you.
He's on the throne, paying just me.
So I said to her, hey, Miss Scarborough, when she turned around, I got the picture. I'm gonna sleep with it under my pillow.
He's got the popularity.
2 tickets, opening night for Red Hot Glue and Jimmy the Ramsey and Ethel Merman.
If there's anything in town you want to buy or rent or hire, drop a line or wire to the sole proprietor. We want Canton, we want Canton. The man who owns Broadway, they say.
Hurry up, you idiot, or we'll miss Jack Benny.
The man who owns Broadway, they say.
Turn up the Philco, Martha. I want to hear Bob Hope.
Turn the corner of Broadway and 43rd the other day. Kid yells out.
Hey, Frankie, there goes. What's his name?
There goes what's his name.
I'm sorry I'm late, dear. 1,000 phone calls. Bet I couldn't get a cab.
That's all right. Just prowling around the old town, seeing how things have changed. Did you see what they're up to on 42nd? Turning the New Amsterdam into a movie house. And I hear the Selwyn and the Lyric are going the same route. I tell you, it's enough
No,
to...
dear. Don't get upset. Plan a nice, quiet lunch for just the two
And
of
that's
us.
another thing, Miss Wooster Mass. What's the big idea of inviting the old man out to lunch? I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's a very suspicious invitation. And I'm warning you, Nolan, if it's one of your Irish
I
tricks...
don't know what you're talking about, dear. It was just such a lovely day. Warmest October 1st since 1893, according to the New York Sun. And I thought it would be nice if we could have lunch and go for a little walk and also, dear, this came. It's from Sam Harris.
4th class mail, 3 cents postage due.
First class, special
Do
delivery.
you want something? If you want my advice, you'll throw it away without opening it.
Don't be silly, dear. It might be important. Sam wouldn't send it special delivery unless it's a script
Daddy wants me to doctor. Well, tell him no thanks.
that he wants you to be in.
You mean me? Be in somebody else's show?
It's called I'd Rather Be Right. It's a
Sing
movie.
somebody else's songs?
It's such a hard
I don't care if I
part.
be
You'd be
playing with the President of the United States. Agnes, these have been wonderful years for me. Tell him no thanks.
All right, dear.
I'm in retirement and I love it.
Yes, dear.
N.O.
Fine, dear. I should have thrown it away without opening it, just as you suggested. In fact, I'll put it in the trash right now.
Warmest October 1st since 1893, huh? I'll have to read about that. I think I noticed a copy of The Sun in this trash basket.
I thought you might, dear.
I thought you might, dear. And I might as well let you in on a new policy in this family, kid. I examine all trash baskets, here and at home, to make sure nothing valuable's been thrown out by mistake. And if by chance I do find something, you can tell your pal, Mr. Sam First Class Special Delivery Harris, that my terms will not only be high, but astronomical. I'm only considering this in the first place because if I don't get back on stage, Agnes, I'll go nuts. Don't ever let me retire again. The working conditions are brutal. You know, what retired people need is a union. I'd rather be right than influential. I'd rather be right than wealthy and wise. I don't come through, dear, where brains belong. But pertaining to you, dear, I can't go wrong. I'd rather be right.
Hold it, George. That's great, the step of the cane. But I'm not sure we need it in this scene. The president is supposed to be talking to Congress.
I know, but it's my entrance, and the people expect me to do a few cane bits. Believe me, it'll bring down the house.
I'm sure it will, Georgie. But for the wrong reasons. The mood we want to set.
I'm going to give you the mood you want right after I do the cane bits. Kid, they want it. And while we're at it, I want to show you the finish. All right, take it from that second 8 count. I don't come through, dear, where brains belong. But pertaining to you, dear, I can't go wrong. I'd rather...
I see what you mean, Georgie, and it's great. Only trouble is, you're supposed to be worried when you come on. You have to face Congress. Okay, Walt. Joe, that's it for today. Pick it up same place tomorrow at 10. Look, Georgie, why don't you go upstairs, cool off, we'll discuss it. Got a couple of the notes I want to go over with you anyhow.
Kid, I'm always ready to discuss anything. Believe me, I think you've got some great ideas, but if there's one thing I know about, it's my entrance. Now let me get a towel or something. I'll be right down.
Walt, did you type up those Cohen notes?
3 copies, sir. One for you, one for the office.
Look, I want you to give them to him. I know it sounds like I'm running out, but I just can't get through to the old boy. You can handle it, can't you?
Yes, sir. Here in his dressing room.
Anywhere I'm not. Simplest way is plow right through and give it to him straight. He'll give you a few arguments, but just go on.
Right.
If he asks for me, tell him how to go to the costumers. Anything. Look, don't be harsh, just businesslike. And don't forget to give him a copy of that new lyric. I want it in tomorrow.
I had it typed up this afternoon, sir. One copy for you, one for the office.
Fine, fine. Call me later and let me know how it goes.
Yes, sir. Look, kid, I'm not against discussing anything, but if there's one thing where's Danny?
Gets to leave, Mr. Cohan. Trouble up.
Fine, no problem. We'll get to it tomorrow. Eyes a little
He
tired.
asked me to give you his notes. If you don't mind, sir.
Well, why should I mind? Hey, Mort, do me a favor, will you? Agnes is waiting for me out in the car. Tell her I'll be out in about 5 minutes. All right, kid, what do you got?
Well, to begin with, sir, Mr. Wilson feels the Supreme Court is running a little
Okay, I agree. So we cut a few minutes out someplace else. What else you got?
According to these notes, sir, he wants it out of that scene.
Well, that's pure gold you're talking about. I've been doing those bits for 40 years, and I know.
Well, maybe that's just it, sir. Those bits are 40 years old. They don't go with the rest of the material. And if there's going to be any sense of cohesiveness to the script.
Sense of what?
Cohesiveness.
I see. Go on, kid.
Well, that's it for that first scene. Now about that first entrance.
Well, let me guess. No cohesiveness again.
Exactly, sir. You see, the way this play's structured, that scene makes a strong, dramatic statement. And all those extraneous tricks and asides.
Look, kid, let's drop the 10-buck words and get down to it. I don't have all day.
He wants you to cut the hat and cane, Mr. Cohan. Do the entrance.
Well, did you see
Don't
what
you see, Mr. Cohan? It's for your own good. He doesn't want you. Excuse me, sir. making a fool out of yourself by throwing in a lot of alternative.
I said, wait a minute. There's a couple of things you don't seem to understand. My name's Cohan. I've been on stage something like 10,000 times. I've written 100 shows and put on 100 more. If I stick my oar in it, it's because this show needs it. As a matter of fact, a complete overhauling of this script by me would be the best thing that could happen. Oh, what's that?
It's a new lyric, sir. In place of the one you changed
Oh, that
yesterday.
lyric's insulting. Al Smith is a friend of mine, and I don't feel like saying those things about him. Sure, what I've put in may not be smart, but it's worked for years, damn it. I don't need some punk kid to come up
These
and
are the director's notes, Mr. Cohan, not mine. And maybe what's worked for years isn't what he wants in this show. The way you were taught was great for its time. But this is 1937, and things have changed. And excuse me for saying this, sir. If you didn't realize that, maybe you shouldn't have come back. Now here's the new lyric. They'd appreciate it you having it learned by tomorrow, if you can manage it, sir. Look, if you like, I'll stay and go over it with you.
No. No thanks.
Then I'll be running along. It's late and I have an early call.
Did you ever see two Yankees part upon a foreign shore? When the good ship's just about to start for old New York once more. With tear dimmed eye they say goodbye. They're friends without a doubt. Then the man on the pier shouts as the ship strikes out. Give my regards to Broadway. Remember me to Herald Square. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there.
Are you all right, dear?
Huh?
Are you all right?
Why shouldn't I be all right?
Well, you said you'd be out in 5 minutes. And
Look,
it's all
Miss
right.
Worcester Mass, my name's Cohan. I've written 100 shows and put on 100 more. If I say 5 minutes, it can be anywhere up to an hour and a half.
Yes, dear.
And I expect you to wait that full time.
Of course, dear.
With words of love and devotion, written, conceived, and executed by George M. Cohan.
I will, dear.
Because I need them. I need them. New lyric I asked them to write today. Pretty good, too. Think I'm gonna use it on my first entrance. Right after I do my cave bits.